immediately think of what has happened, because you already have too much information coming in. No, it is well, you know, apparently, yeah, by a lot of people
around, and life seems to be like full of people.
Throughout the week or the season that you're in before you actually bury the person.
Okay.
But after the burial date, that is when now you sit. People have left your house.
You have to go back to
your
usual daily activities.
Everybody that said, I'm here for you, I'm not leaving, they left. And now it's like, for me, it was just me and my 2 children and a few people that were around me. But then that's when it started sinking in, hiya, he's actually not coming back. You know, throughout the week, I'm thinking, it's one of those trips that he takes, he's coming back. He's coming back. But he never came back, of course. And that is when he started thinking after the burial that is actually the person is dead. When people start walking away, the more they walk away, the more it sinks.
It sinks,
yeah. Because within a month or 2, I think it took probably a month for me to actually see that he's not coming back and he's gone. Because by that time, everybody that had even said they would be there and actually stayed for a while, people had gone back to their businesses. People forget quickly. Either they forget quickly or they assume very quickly. In a month, there was actually no one I could call. There was no one I could go to. I remember after, when he died, my pastors agreed to host me for 5 weeks. They told me there is no way you're staying in your house alone. You're nursing a baby. He just died. You come stay with us. So I went and stayed with them for 5 weeks. And I really insisted to move back to my house because I needed that. As actually what I told them was, when I'm here, there is Dada, Pastor Dan, there is Pastor Charlotte. It's a family setup. There's a husband in the house and there is a mom in the house. Mine doesn't have a husband at the moment, you know. So I need to get back to my house.
And face your reality, and face now, your world.
Exactly. Because I'm in your house, people are coming to see me in your house. The encouragement is still going on. I need to go back to my own roof and see that he's actually not coming back.
Wow. And first of all, sorry for your loss. Your story is really, it's really touching, because it's not one of those things a young couple as you guys were is expecting. Just 4 years after your marriage, you still have, like, you're full of hopes, you're full of dreams, there are plans you're having as a young family, and then this strikes at a time you did not expect. So you tell me 1 month is when reality started sinking in. How did your life change then? What are some of the decisions or thoughts that had to come to you that you know, one could tell a difference between the Diana of before and this new Diana? What is this new thing that happened in your life after his demise?
A whole lot. I would say probably the entire of me changed, because everything about me had to change. I had to first start thinking of how to start parenting on my own. By the time when he died, I had left work initially because
he was like the sole breadwinner.
Yes, I was home.
Okay.
He was the one. He was the sole breadwinner, and I was home that time. Now I had to start thinking what to do, and then of course I made changes to me back then that seemed right. Only afterwards to come find out that they were actually not the best decisions to make.
Which decisions are these?
Like the first thing I did when he died, we were moving out of the house we were in the following week. So what I did, I still made that move. I moved. Yes, which for me that was fine. The moving houses was fine. But what I did was that I decided I do not want to see anything in this house that we have bought. Yeah. So what I did, I took all the money that I had, actually not all of it, but most of it, I refurbished the entire house from the living room,
furniture to everything.
Everything else
was new.
Yes. No, actually, like with the seats, what I did, I just upholstery. I changed the fabric, everything. It looked new. And anything that I could sell, I sold. Anything that I could buy afresh, I bought.
What were you doing? What was that for?
I didn't want anything that would remind me of Kevin. It was, for me at that moment, it seemed like the right way to deal with the loss. But then I did not see at the repercussions of using money that fast when you actually do not have a stable income. When, of course, I cannot look for work now. I'm not in the right mind to do so.
And you still, you have a young
And I have a young child. So those were the decisions I made at that time. And then, of course, that led to me losing a lot of people who felt I was now entering the season of dependency upon people. So, which actually happened for some reason. It happened for some time. But then, when I sit back now, those are things that I would advise someone not to do.
Yeah.
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 But then I either I never got that advice or I got it because when I'm in that state, I was not in the right mind to actually sit down and have this conversation of the future. According to me, there's actually no future.
No future.
Yeah, there's no future there.
Mm-hmm.
So anything I'm doing, it's short term, it's short lived, and I'm not seeing ahead. So and then I didn't have this many people surrounding me that would tell me, don't do this, don't do that, and the ones that told me, I never listened. Yeah, you know, because I was like, this is the way I want to mourn. This is my way of doing it. You let me do it. And being a mourning person, they let me do it.
Because you're sensitive at that moment, and nobody wants to make things worse for you.
They are very careful.
They just want to enable you through the whole mourning season.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how long did it take you to actually really get back on your feet and stand up and say that now I have to be the father and the mother of these children. I have to now move on with my daily activities in as much as his absence is felt, but I have to stand up and move on with my life. How long did it take? It's been 4 years now, but how long did it take you to exactly make that decision?
9 months.
9 months?
Yes.
Wow.
9 months. It took me 9 months. First of all, I couldn't even heal. Like you mentioned earlier, I had to first pray that my kids get better. For them to get better and me to get better. Because there was no way going to get better. My daughter used to go to a corner, like here and sit in a corner.
Tell me about what was happening in their lives then. The young baby and your firstborn, the daughter.
Yeah.
She's 6.
She's 6 now.
She's 6 now. Tell me about what was happening. How were they mourning, and what, as a parent, what could you notice different about them, their character, their behavior around the house?
From the day Kevin died on 1st of March 2014, they changed totally. My daughter was a happy-go-lucky person. From that day, she became this person who will not laugh. She will not talk to anyone. She will not eat. She used to sit at a corner in the house and sit there not talking to anyone, sit like this. She will not talk to anyone. She will not eat. And she used to be this kind of a person you cannot hold her down. She's ever running.
Ever happy and moving around.
She's ever happy, and she used to be, being the firstborn for 2 years, you know, before the other one came in, she was a daddy's girl. So
the
I think
princess of the house.
Yeah, the princess of the house. Nothing is done to Chevelle, you know. Daddy says. Yeah, true. You know, but now she couldn't, and that is how I knew. I think as a mother, that's how I learned I knew that's how she was mourning, and I knew. Being a Christian, I knew how to pray that the Lord would help her emotions and guide her in that direction. And our son, from that day, she was 2 months, 2 weeks. She used to be this, you know, these babies that just sleep 24/7. Yeah, wake up, breastfeed, sleep. But from that day, she could not sleep. He could not sleep. He refused to eat. He was ever crying, 24/7, ever crying. Actually, he changed 4 months after. Okay. 4 months after is when, after a lot of praying for him, and mind you, I couldn't pray. People prayed for him. I was that moment.
You're in that space where
God does not
was,
exist. This moment, God, how could you?
And a lot of the why questions. The why me, why now? Why
and a lot of hurting as well, from internally, from external people, and from myself. And of course, now that bit of saying, God, you do not take people this young. You know, when you're getting married and you say till death do us part. It's till death do us part, but at 90. You know,
it's happy. It's a life. You imagine you'll grow old together and you live and have fun and do all those things you want to do. When you're taking that vow, it's not till death do us part. The death will come tomorrow or in the next few months.
It's when we are walking old with sticks, you know, with walking sticks, you know.
When you've seen and done it all.
Yeah, exactly. Raised your children, had fun with your grandkids, but now not like this, you know. Not
3 years.
Yeah, not under. We were 3 years, 8 months. Actually, I keep saying that we were from that season of when you're doing marriage counseling, they tell you it's the drama season. Excuse me. It's the drama season where after 2 years we have fought or we can fight. Now we are having fun.
Now you've understood each other, you've learned each other. Now you now want to start living and enjoying marriage.
Things are starting to work out. Financially, we are getting very stable. We are getting fine. You know, it's February. It was after February, so it's 1st of March. We are like, we have the rest of the year to have fun. You know, and now, so at that moment, of course, God did not make sense. I did not want to talk to him. I did not want anyone near me talking about God, you know. But then at that time, that is when, of course, I understood. I think there is that inner me, being a saved person that loves Christ. There is that inner me that would still call on to God even when I have no words for it. Because, you know, the Bible says that the Spirit of God understands even the deepest groanings. And when you are a widow, when you're weeping, it's actually a groaning that cannot be explained in words. I keep saying it's like being stabbed with a blunt object. You know, a sharp object cuts fast. It's like being stabbed with a blunt object.
So you just feel the pain, and you keep feeling the pain.
And the person is not in a hurry to do it. You know, like slowly,
it's
slowly,
like torture.
slowly. Yeah, exactly. That's the word. You know, so at that moment, that's how it was for me. But I really, in my heart, I would still pray for my kids in my heart. As much as I did not want to talk to God, my heart would still do it.
Pray for them. Did they ask, do they understand what happened right now? Did they ever ask you? Or
they did.
They did ask you where daddy is?
My daughter did. My son was 2 months. So my daughter is the one who did the asking for both of them. So yeah, so what happened, she would be, we used to have family pictures on the wall. So there's this specific one she would look at and keep asking, Mommy, is daddy coming home? You know, of course, her words were not very, she was 2, she was learning to speak, you know, but she would put her words together. And, Mommy, daddy's coming home? I'm like, no. And then back then, the car that my husband used to have and used to use back then was a Subaru. So it would make noise when he comes home. And she knew the time he comes home, she wouldn't sleep until he got home at 9 o'clock. And she knew the car. So apparently where we had moved to, our neighbor had a Subaru and used to come home at 9. So yeah, so my daughter would be like, every time she hears the sound at the gate, Mommy, daddy's home. You know, she runs to the door as usual. But then it was very painful for me to see her that way as a mother, as a parent. And because I couldn't understand emotionally what she was going through. I can only see the outside part of it. So I really had to pull myself together, and I would urge every parent to do that. Just pull yourself together as much as you can and pray for them if you can. And I would pray for them, and after 4 months is when I realized that now they're getting better. My daughter can now laugh again. Of course, she's still staring at that pictures.
And what would you advise, you know, parents to do? Some even opt to tell them that, you know, daddy left and went on a journey, he will be back. Is that the right way?
No.
Is that the right response?
No.
And what do you do exactly, especially when you feel like this child is still too young to hold all this in their mind, to really take it? What do you do as a parent when you're caught up in that dilemma? Like, where is daddy?
For me, they need to know the truth from the word go, from the day he passed away. For me, I think my daughter started asking that day, that night when he never came home. And I was straightforward from the word go. I didn't, you know, it's not for me to decide how she's going to take it, in the sense, will she understand it or not? It's not for a parent to decide. It's the truth to be told, you know? So for me, from the word go, daddy has gone to heaven, he's not coming back. Yeah, that was the statement. Or as much as it hurt me to say it, it was the truth to tell at that time. So that a few years down the line, they won't come blaming me, and I won't hurt in the inside when now they are all grown up and still waiting for daddy to come home. And now I'm telling them that he's not coming home. So it's parents to tell the truth, no matter how old they. Mine was 2 years. But I told her, I did not know how she takes it. I did not know how, if she understands. Of course, she didn't understand it or comprehend it at that time. And it's now that she's 6, it's when it's sinking in. Because a few years down the line, I took off the photos from the wall when I realized they were affecting her badly. I took them all off and put them, I said, when you're old enough, I'll give you the photos to look at as much as you want.
As you want. But you have to get to that point, you tell them the truth.
The truth.
So that they live with knowing the truth.
They have to know
what really happened. And they say talking heals, and I'm sure the more you narrate this, the more it makes you strong. And in the course of the coming weeks, we'll be offering this platform for more to just open and share what their experiences are, and even talk about issues, including what worked for you in that journey to raising children on your own and taking those baby steps until you're starting to run and you're starting to move on. We'll talk about all those, but unfortunately for today, time is not on our side. So as we bring this conversation to a close, what are the issues that are on top of your mind right now that you wish, you know, widows and widowers, and even society in general, ought to be discussing, ought to be, you know, creating even policies to work around? Issues that are really, really challenges that are facing widows and widowers in our country and even in Africa.
First of all, I would say the voice needs to be, the voice needs to be there. We need to have widows that will come up and speak. You know, widows, like right now we only have a few that are standing up to fight for the rights of other widows. And most of them are in a position to actually do it. So what I would ask is as many as organizations that can come up to raise up the voice of the widows that is generally not heard, that can push things to be done in government, that can push Parliament to actually pass the bill that they have had for the last like 2 years. It needs to come up. That needs to come at the topmost office, you know, from the President to Parliament and all of them. And as for the society, it's another world of its own. We need to, for me, the society needs to be taught how to actually deal with people that have gone through loss, to avoid the stigma that is there right now, for the community to come up with schemes to actually enable widows to actually stand on their feet again. So there's a lot for me that needs to be done to make sure that, you know, the UN report for 2015 says that widows are actually not even counted when they're doing the census. You know, that needs to stop happening.
You were telling me that the other day, and I was like, what is that? They're not counted as part of the census, yet this is a population. They also play a role in
which we are very
economy.
Many. Yes, true. We are about 4.5 right now in Kenya only, 44 in Nairobi between the ages of 16 and 35. And that is in 2015. So you can bet it has grown almost half the number by now, you know. So that's a lot that needs to be changed. The society needs to be taught on awareness, and of course how to enable widows to rise from what they are instead of adding to their grief, because we as a society tend to do that a lot. And we hope this platform will bring a solution to all those issues you're talking about. And thank you so much for creating time to be with us this morning. Looking forward to seeing you again. That is Diana Gathoni, and she's told us a lot about her experience and how she's wearing this shoe. What are some of the things that she learned in the process of being a young widow? And this is what will be happening every Wednesday morning. My name is Serfin Achieng, and right now we take a short break. We are coming right back with the lifestyle item of the day. Today we are talking about hair loss and hair transplant. So if you're that lady who is always like complaining about hairline and you love your hair so much, you want to know what to do so that you do not lose your hair, this is a conversation for you. Stay with us. We are coming right after this particular break.